時間到啦，而出。
We have passed the scheduled time and we have already formed a quorum. Let's get started. Item 1. Information papers issued since last meeting. In fact, there are quite a few, and I'm sure members have all got the details, and the details are set out in the agenda. So any comment on the papers being issued? If none. Yes, Dr. Kenneth Chen. Thank you, Chairman. This morning, I asked the Chairman to pass on a letter to other members. I understand that because of the haste, you might not have done it because there was a Town Planning Board decision with regard to the Causeway Bay OCP. There was a court ruling this morning, and the judgment involves the TPB's handling of such town planning applications, procedures, and also members' involvement, and also whether or not they have taken on board or considered deputation's views and so on. So there was a court ruling on this, and I think there is a need for us to invite the relevant parties to come and discuss with us in the light of the court ruling, that is with regard to the Town Planning Amendment Ordinance 2012, and also for the third stage review. I think they should have tabled it for discussion again, because we have now got a court ruling and the administration must respond to that, because it's been 10 years since the last review. And there is an item which has to do with the Town Planning Ordinance. That's item 2. It's about its statutory functions and related matters. And it says that the administration has advised that review of the Town Planning Ordinance is not a priority of the Development Bureau and has not been factored into its current work plan. So in the light of this letter, can you take it up with the administration, Chairman? Because in the light of the ruling, after all, it's a new development, and I think the administration should give it a second thought, or maybe they should allow panel members to take a look at the judgment so as to press ahead with the further democratization of the town planning process. All right, thank you for your letter. I'll be passing that on to members, and I can also follow up on the matter, including what you just said. So I can discuss that with the administration as to what you set out in the letter. In particular, there were 2 judgments being issued. Thank you, Chairman. All right, item for discussion at the next meeting. I'd just like to remind members that on the 3rd of December at 9 a.m. to 10:35, we're going to have a special meeting discussing 2 items, and the agenda has been issued to members on the 11th of November. Yes, Madam Chen Yun Han? Yes, please continue. I'd just like to raise some issues that I'm concerned about. Can you repeat what you said again? December the 3rd, 9 o'clock, 9 to 10:35. We're going to have a special meeting, and the agenda has been issued on November the 11th. With regard to the next regular meeting, is to be held on the 19th of December. It's a Friday at 9, and the administration has proposed to discuss PWP item number 13GB, Liantang Hang Yun Wai Boundary Control Point and associated works, construction of boundary control point, buildings and associated facilities. And earlier on, the administration has submitted some information papers, including progress update of the proposed amendments to the building standards of sanitary fitments, plumbing, drainage works and latrines regulations, CAP 123I. And also revision of fees and charges for services under the purview of the Lands Department under the Land Survey Fees Regulation, CAP 473A. And some members asked that these 2 legislative proposals be discussed at our panel meeting. That's why I suggest that at the December regular meeting we should discuss these. And in order to ensure that there would be sufficient time for us to cover all items, I propose that the next regular meeting be extended till 12:30. In other words, from 9 to 12:30. 3.5 hours in total. Any comments from members concerning these arrangements? Yes, Madam Chen Yun-han. Well, recently there have been some suggestions that because of the filibustering that is taking place in this council, some items have not been able to be submitted for discussion at the relevant committees. And yesterday and this morning, there were some from the business sector who were concerned about these developments. So I think we need to discuss that, because last time I think it was at the PWSC, either here and the PWSC. So either there were too many projects underway at the same time, or there were too few. So when there were too many projects underway, then the materials prices would go up to such a level that they would become too expensive. At other times, there were simply too few projects. So we have to look at the situation with regard to Hong Kong's ability to take on those projects. So we should not be going for the extremes. Too many would be too much, and too few would be too little. And also for Liantang, every time they have to come up, they have to come for supplementary funding, and we're talking about tens of millions of dollars. And taking Liantang as a case in point, well, in the process, we are not against it at all, but then there are certain things involving price increase and so on, and that has sparked some discussion in this council. So, well, should we be discussing that at the PWC or at the development panel? So other than the fact that, well, when they submitted items to the FC or PWSC or ESC, there might be difficulties having them approved. But then in the past, in the construction sector, there were either too many jobs or too few jobs available. So we need to take it up with the administration as to how we can smooth things out. Well, as far as the construction sector is concerned, and also the related professions, I think they are all very concerned about this. And according to my impression, in the past, concerning what Madam Chen just said, there have been many occasions on which members have raised comments or raise certain points for discussion. I think we have had more than one discussion in the past on this. So I'll take it up with the relevant officials. We do want them to tell us exactly what their plans are, so that there would not be serious fluctuation in the number of projects, and there might be some impacts because of certain incidents. Hopefully that would not be too much to cope. Chairman, it's not just about the entire construction sector, because in the process, if the administration could have made more adjustments from different perspectives, then when there are too many projects, I understand that there are some who are saying that well, for people who are in control of these projects, there might have been some problems. I'm not going to use the term that they use. They are saying that there might have been corruption or bribery cases, but then it's problematic, because in the past, when we had the short piling incident, other than the safety factor, there were also other problems giving rise to corruption cases and so on. Well, we have talked about that time and again, and yet the administration just brush it aside. I think the administration should tell us, all right, knowing full well that when there are too many projects underway, then there would be problems. Why can't we do things in a more orderly manner? Yes, I agree with what Madam Chen just said. Well, in 2014-15, we're going to have a backlog of items, and then in 2016, that would come down, and there might be too few. So I hope that we can be given a chart or a table, so that for projects that spill over from 2014-15, then what's the load going to be like in 2015, and what if there is continuous filibustering at the Finance Committee, then how many projects will have to come back again? So we have to understand the full picture. Thank you. Yes, Mr. Lang Chi-Chang. Chairman, in fact, this issue has taken place because of the filibustering, or else there would not have been such serious problems. And if the administration tries to rush through some major projects, then that would lead to a shortage of labor. And if there are too many projects on the way, they might not even be able to get consultancy firms to do the job. And in some cases, consultancy firms taking on jobs costing tens of millions of dollars might also find it difficult to cope. But then I'm sure you would all agree that filibustering has been the source of the problem. And how can the administration be expected to be able to cope? All right, Mr. Yu Shi-wing asked that, well, after the filibustering, we will have to consider the implications. I think we should put it to the members doing the filibustering.
Heard on the radio this morning, legislators in the conversation, and now people want us to cut the filibustering. Now, I think we need to review if filibustering is allowed, when do we stop it? Otherwise, there may be disruptions, so you cannot get workers. Understood. I think we will get the latest information from the administration. Perhaps we come to agenda item number 3, Capital Works Reserve Fund block allocations for 2015 to 16. Can we have the officials join us? First, I welcome the officials. The name list is already before us, so I will not introduce them one by one. First, a briefing, please, by whom? Thank you. Good afternoon. These are the funding allocation requests, the block allocations, Capital Works Reserve Fund 2015 to 16. Now, according to usual practice, every year we seek the FC's approval for block allocations. We propose to get funds for all together the funding now 890 million, $8.9 billion have to do with works, and we also seek the approvals for increased fundings for 2014, 15, 16, subhead 100DX and also subhead 9100WX Waterworks. So we want it to apply for additionally $47.5 million and $60 million increase respectively. And for the 2015 to 16, the total amount is $12.205 billion. Now, I would like to remind members that if there is pecuniary interest, the members have to declare the interest before they speak. And there will now be 4 minutes per member. That covers reply by the administration. Mr. Lo Wai Kwok? Chairman, my question is very simple. I'd like to understand. Now, in the past, for the past 2 years, now under Capital Works Reserve Fund, the block allocations, the amount actually used, and the amount allocated, how do they compare? Now, actually, for this year and for the past 2 years before that, the allocations are similar, and I like to supplement on the use of funds for the 2 previous years for your reference. Now, the amounts actually used are similar, or are they higher or lower? Actually, they are similar. So we will supply the data afterwards. Anything else to follow up? Any more questions from members? If not, we go to the next item. That is to revision of fees and revision fees under builders' lifts and tower working platforms, and also revision of fees and economic costs for excavation on streets maintained by Highways Department. I forgot to ask whether members support the request for block allocations. I see no objections, so I assume that members are in support. We invite the administration officials to join us.
我哋而家進入嗰個議程係第4項啦。
We come to agenda item number 4, it's mainly about revision of fees, including builders' lifts and tower working platforms related fees, and also fees and economic costs for excavation on streets maintained by Highways Department. Now, the first agenda item took less time than we expected, and the government officials for this item have not yet arrived, so members please wait for a while. I believe they will be here soon, and we can start then.
咁如果
the clerk suggests that we have a break for 5 minutes.